Starting a business as a software engineer is very hard, but in this video, I'm going to show you how I work 2 or 3 hours a day and make tens of thousands of dollars so you can just copy me. First off, I want to start by just highlighting things affecting the tech industry at the moment. Right now, there's a lot of layoffs and it's really outside of your control. You could be laid off any day, even if you're a high performer in your org. And also, there seems to be a state of stagnated career growth after you reach a certain point, right? Once you reach senior SWE, staff SWE is a little bit harder to get. And once you reach staff SWE, it's harder to get that principal engineer, right? Because a lot of people I know are stuck between senior SWE and staff SWE and they can't really go up and their income is just stagnant and they have no control over how much they're making. Number 3 is just waiting for promotions and office politics. So if the company is not doing well, you're doing great at the company, you're not going to be promoted because everything is outside of your control. And then also number 4 is the on-call shifts are burning you out. You're probably getting paged in the middle of the night, you're fixing some bug, you're deploying new code, and it's just really burning you out on top of the tight deadlines that's assigned to you to complete projects for your management. But the things in life that you should control is your income, how much you're making. If I put 1 hour in, how much am I making in that 1 hour? And also time. So can this thing make money while I sleep, or do I have to put in 8 hours every single day just so I could make a little bit of money? Number 3 is really freedom. So do you have the freedom to hang out with your kids, to hang out with your girlfriend, to go on a Europe trip randomly in the middle of the year? And most people, as a software engineer, they have some time freedom, but a lot of it is limited based on their income, and they're based in the US, right? So they can't really just fly to Asia, go to Thailand, chill by the beach. They have to be in the US. So let's look at the strengths of a software engineer, right? When we're talking about business, we want to play to our strengths. And even for me, what I've noticed is my strengths are different from my friend that's in sales. So as a software engineer, we're very good at system design. We know how to design systems. We know how to design automations, because system design is essentially just the if-else statement. If this happens, what do we do afterwards, right? And automations is very similar to the if-else statements. And we're very well versed in business logic. If a client comes to us and says, we want this, we know how to implement it on the back end with code. And we're very good at communication within teams. So being able to hire the systems, the automations, all out to a $3 an hour VA is very effective, right? We get to buy our time back, and also our clients get to have their process fulfilled as well. But the thing we have to look at is what skills are we really lacking as a software engineer? So coming from me, I was a little bit introverted when I first started out in business. I didn't know how to sell to people. I felt bad for selling to people, and it was my Achilles heel. So sales is 1000% the skill that we are lacking in business. But in my belief, if you can take operating systems in your university, you could probably learn sales, right? Operating systems in university is massively more difficult than learning sales. And sales is more so just about understanding why do we ask the questions that we ask, and how does that get the buyer to open up, right? It's really about reading the buyer on what they want to be sold on. And afterwards, you go to objection handling. But if your objections, if you're getting a lot of objections, maybe it's something with the prospecting discovery phase that's wrong, right? But I'll make a separate video on how you can master sales and what I've learned from taking thousands of sales calls. So the problem with a lot of software engineers is they want to start a SaaS. They want to have that indie hacker lifestyle. They want to bootstrap software company. And the thing is, in my opinion, because I've gone through the same thing, right? I've started SaaS companies, didn't know anything about marketing, didn't know anything about funnels. And it was very difficult to start because in the beginning, you're going to be discouraged because you put in 100, 200, 300 hours and you've made $500 MRR, right? It's very discouraging in the beginning. So the problem with starting a SaaS is it takes 3 to 6 months for an MVP. And even after you have your MVP, if you don't find product market fit, you're kind of fucked. Right. So with this, you collect a lot of cash very slowly up front. And the problem with that is you can't really scale up your company because you're relying on the cash flow that's coming in from $500, $1,000 MRR. You really need a lot of money up front so you can start hiring out the teams, start delegating the ad spend into different platforms and scaling up your SaaS that way. That's how most SaaS achieve that hockey stick growth. But a lot of people online with indie hackers and bootstrappers is they want to grow organically, which is fine because it's free traffic, but it takes a lot of, at the cost of free traffic, it takes a lot of time on your end. So would you rather have trade money for more money, or would you rather trade time for more money? In my opinion, I'd rather trade money for more money. Because if you can crack paid ads, it's essentially an infinite money burner. And another problem I don't have listed for starting a SaaS is, as a software engineer, you probably don't have enough business skills, even though you think you do, in starting a SaaS, because SaaS is one of the hardest industries to start in because there's so many variables. There's product market fit, there's clients, there's code involved. It's very competitive because my buddy, he started SaaS and he sees competitors being duplicated every single day. And you haven't really understood how funnels work and how pricing works and how to sell to people, right? Because you're essentially, the only thing you have is knowing how to code, and everything else in business you're kind of missing, right? So I'll get into what I started, or I opted in to start instead of SaaS. But first off, what do businesses even want? So if you look at the hierarchy here, businesses need leads. If you look at softwares like Instantly, how they instantly get a 9-figure valuation in a year and a half, right? Because they focus on getting leads, getting appointments, and getting closed deals. So number one, they look for leads. Number two, they look for appointments. And after that, the appointments convert into revenue. And everything ties back to money. So whether it is generating money or saving on expenses, for example, if they have a task that they're hiring somebody to do $60K per year to do, maybe it could be automated with code. With the age of AI, a lot of things can be automated nowadays, right? So everything has to be tied back to money or tied back to them buying their time back. So whenever you do start SaaS, we have to look at these things because it'll be easier to sell to them than some generic AI blockchain app that you raise millions of dollars with a VC on. So in my opinion, the easiest business to start in 2024, 2025, 2026 for software engineers is a white labeled SaaS. So essentially what you do is you have somebody else's SaaS, you brand it as your own, and you also add in automations on the back end for you to nurture clients, to handle all the leads that are coming in. So essentially the SaaS is like a big black box, and for you, you could input automations and systems into that big black box, and afterwards you could sell it to clients. So this requires no upfront MVP. That takes 3 to 6 months. I have the systems. I could just give you the same systems I use for my local lead gen clients, and you could just replicate it and start selling to them. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell leads to local businesses, right? HVAC, roofing, dentists, realtors, anything, plumbers, anything that's local. Because in this industry, while in the other SaaS industry, you're very competitive. You're competing with a lot of people online. In the local lead gen space, most of them don't really know how to use technology. They don't know how to do online marketing. They don't know how to use Instagram. So you'll sell these leads to local businesses. And how do we really generate those leads? I'll have another course or video on completely free on how to generate leads for local businesses in my school community. So go ahead and join that, and I'll just release it to everybody in there. And what we really do is go high level, white label with your systems for mine for service delivery. So you could just import my systems and it'll automatically be imported into Go High Level. And the pro of this, you have automatic product market fit, and you have a SaaS that directly helps clients generate revenue, right? Like we said before, what do businesses look for? They look for leads, appointments, and revenue. Everything ties back to revenue. So whenever you go to a local lead gen space, you automatically have product market fit because all the businesses need leads. It's just how do they get leads? And for this software, we charge $497 a month to our local lead gen clients, but honestly, you could charge anywhere upwards of $997 or even $1,500 a month. Just with one client. And that's all I really want to cover in this video. With the white labeled SaaS, it's very, very effective because you skip the whole phase of finding product market fit and even coding, right? To start this type of SaaS, you'll really hone in on your business skills. One, for example, is closing clients. Number two is really dealing with how to manage a team, maybe overseas. Number three is knowing the systems and automations in place to really track KPIs. And with this, you could start any SaaS company. If you master how to generate leads for yourself and for your clients, you could generate leads whenever you start a SaaS company as well. But this is just the first stepping stone into knowing more about business, which this is probably the easiest thing you could start. A lot of people start agencies. This might be even easier in an agency. There'll be a stepping stone into having the business knowledge to start a SaaS one day, if that is your goal. But that's all I want to cover in this video. In the school community, we're going to show everything that we have related to starting a white labeled SaaS. And I'll give you everything for free, and I'll see you in the school community. I'll attach a link down below in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.